Hello, this is Amanda Ray from theamandaray.com, here to do a quick little pick a card for you. Just a message from Spirit about how you can move forward. So we're gonna jump into some pile preparation, time-lapse style, and then jump into your pile selection. I'll talk with you later. Bye. Here are your piles for the pile selection. So we have pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. Before you choose your pile, please take a moment, take 3 deep breaths. It's gonna help ground your energy and help you get more connected with your heart and soul so that your soul can guide you on selecting your piles today. If you need some additional time, please just pause the video and take a minute to really get vibing with the cards that are calling to you. And here we are with pile number 1. So we're gonna go ahead and flip over the tarot cards first. We have the 10 of Air, or the 10 of Swords, the 2 of Air, and the Hierophant. So really interesting start for pile number 1. I'm getting the sense of you're stuck in a life circumstance where you can't see the way forward. There is this energy of, should I choose this or this? And deep within your soul, you understand you need to be walking your spiritual path the way that Spirit is guiding you, whether that's your heart is guiding you, pulling you. There's a whole energy of needing to connect more with your authentic self. And the other path, while might make other people happier, isn't going to serve you in the long run. So there is definitely this need to just hold up and take a minute, okay? We're gonna flip over all these cards. We're gonna see all the messages here. We have Memories of Love. We have Trapped in Fear and Triumph. So this is, again, sorry, I'm just sliding them up so we can fit the other cards. You know, each of these lines, if you will, are going to like deepen the message. So you're trying these choices, you're feeling trapped, you're feeling stuck within whatever decision you need to make, whether it's moving on from someone or moving on from a circumstance, or allowing yourself to thrive and follow your spiritual path, or do something because you love someone, because you think that's what they want, when it's not really being of service. So we're gonna flip these cards too. We have the Thinking Man, we have the Thinking Woman, and then we have the Moon Goddess, or Goddess of the Moon, my apologies. So again, the Thinking Woman is in reverse. You're having a hard time understanding and conceptualizing or seeing the path beyond the decision. And your guides are here to tell you that you are not meant to see the outcome of your choices. You just understand there's a choice to be made. Part of why they're keeping that from you is simply so that you're making a choice based on your spirit. No matter what choice you make in life, in general, there's always going to be this, well, if I would have known, I might have chose different, but it doesn't mean the other choice would have ended up any better, or there wouldn't have been bumps along the road. Like, we're always presented with challenges and obstacles as we're living life. So they want you to really get clear energetically on what choice is right for you. Now, I'm going to apply this into potentially like a work or a romantic relationship. I guess any relationship doesn't have to be romantic. If you're in this relationship and you're like, man, this isn't working for me. I'm feeling really stuck. I'm constantly overthinking things, but there's love there. Like, I care for this person, but it's hurting me. And maybe they're strategizing and trying to come up with something, but it's out of integrity with what feels good for you. And on this side, you're like, if I let them go, I'm going to feel so much better. There's going to be big releasing, but I care for them. So it's, how much do you want to sacrifice yourself for other people? What does that mean for you? What does that look like for you? Not always easy to answer those types of questions, but your guides are asking you to take a higher path, to be the bigger person. So this could be with conflict. Something's hurting you for sure, and they're asking you to choose not that, whatever that is. So if it's a relationship where you're feeling undervalued, don't keep choosing that. Make a new choice and see where you lead. You know, you'll have to choose between memories of love, what used to be, and thriving, because things have changed. Ten of Swords. And you can't overthink it. There will be a release of some kind in order for everyone to get what they need, for balance to be brought back into that equation. Okay? That does not mean it is easy. I understand conceptually this might sound easy, but to actually execute in your life, it can be another thing. It can feel super challenging. And in and amongst that, give yourself time to rest. You know, these cards here, that's a lot of internal pressure happening for you, pile number one. So do things that help support your nervous system, help support your peace. You know, go for a walk in nature, take deep breaths, do some meditation, light a candle, whatever that is for you. You know, you might have things you already know. Maybe you have to go on a little bit of a self-discovery to be like, what does help me relax? And figure that out. You know, it's okay to not know what you need for self-care wise. It's okay. Life sometimes just leads you away from that. But it's not okay to struggle through things. It's not okay to use it as an excuse. So if you don't know how to help yourself relax so you can get more in touch with your spiritual path, whatever that means, your spiritual team is calling to you. They want you to feel them, to feel their love, their support. And they don't want you to be hurting anymore. They don't want you to be feeling grief. Like, these two cards together really give me that sense of grief, sadness. And you don't have to stay trapped in that. They're showing that you can shift out of it, but it's going to take believing in yourself. And that might be hard. So find just one good person in your life that can help support you through that. If you have more than one, that's fantastic. But just reach out to one and be like, hey, I need to be making these choices that are good for me, and I don't know how. Any advice? Can you be my cheerleader? Because you just need a little something to gain that confidence, because you have it within you. Absolutely have it within you. Okay? Pile number one, those are the messages I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're looking for a personal reading, check the description box. I've got a lot of different ways to get in touch with me. If you're here for another pile, I'll be talking with you soon. If this is your last pile, thank you so much for joining me. Bye. And here we are with pile number 2. We're just gonna jump right in here. We're gonna see what tarot we got. The High Priestess. What a beautiful card to get first. Love that. The Call. That's beautiful. And the Six of Earth. Okay. Okay, so so as I'm tapping in for pile number 2, there's most definitely an energy of you're connected with spirit. You are connected with spirit. you have that inner knowing. You know there is a call on your life. You know you are being called to a purpose. You're giving more than you're allowing yourself to receive. And Spirit wants to bring that back into balance. They want you to feel as abundant as you are giving all of the things, because the energy that you are giving to people is beautiful. It's life-changing. Okay, so Spirit's giving me an analogy, so I'm going to share that with you. It's like, for you to fulfill your spiritual work, it's like you're running a restaurant, and the people that come into your life come there. Spirit has a regular VIP table in your restaurant, and they're sitting down, they're ordering, they're having their friends come and go, and they just keep like racking up this bill, never really leaving. Just, you know, they've been there all day, and they're like, okay, we'll order this appetizer. Oh, so-and-so's here, we'll order this. Oh, whatever it is. And they're like, can I get the bill, please? We'd like to just catch up, pay what we have, and we'll just keep ordering, but like, I feel like it's fair. And you're like, oh yes, what can I get you? And like, the bill, what do we owe you for all of these things we have ordered, all of these things we have received? And like, oh yeah, just tell me what you need. And they want to have reciprocity. They want to be able to pay for what they've ordered, so they can keep ordering more without feeling like a burden. So, and it doesn't matter if you're like, Spirit, I just want a free coffee. Bring that to me however you want. And if that's your, like, that's the thing, cool. It doesn't matter if it's a coffee or $10 million. It's the same to Spirit. It's just a physical representation of energy. So you don't have to be like, oh, well, I don't know what I want. You don't have to figure that out today. You can ask Spirit to help guide you to understanding what it is you desire, and they will bring you that information in a variety of contexts. But for now, just be like, hey, it costs $2 for all of these appies you've ordered for you and all your friends. And they're like, it can't be. Well, you know, on the house, you know, it's just figuring out what that is. And they're just asking that question. How can they give back to you? Okay. Let's see what else we got going on here. Heartache and loss, boredom and discontent, and then passion ignited. Excuse me. Okay, so there's part of you that doesn't believe in yourself and your abilities. Okay? You know, but you don't know. And then Spirit's like, hey, we waiting for that bill. What do we owe you? And once there's that reciprocity, it's like things are reignited. You have like this, I'm going to call it a quantum leap. It's like, it's just so much more than what is. Like, it's just next level. So they're kind of waiting on that. And you're like, well, I don't know how to ask for anything. Practice. Spirit's a really great place to practice that with. They got your back. Okay. And we have door to personal healing and happiness. We have the Magician and the Mirror. And then we have the Temple path all in reverse. So yes, like this is your spiritual path, is bringing more balance into your relationship with Spirit, so that you don't feel like you're overgiving or depleting yourself. It's allowed to be a give and a take situation. Absolutely. Absolutely is. Now, this is interesting. So the Magician in the Mirror is very much like a hot and cold. Do you want to choose like being the spiritual person or having balance? But the way they're presenting this is you don't have to choose between them, which is why this is in reverse. You're allowed to be the high priestess and have balance. You can have it all if you define what that looks like. Okay? The door to personal healing and happiness. When you align with your high priestess and you're processing the parts of you that feel unworthy, unable, incapable, however that's showing up for you, it leads to a very beautiful place when you're able to just show up in life and feel calm and blissful. Maybe not all the time, like we are still human, but when that's more of your like natural operating state, it's like you're gonna magnetize to you everything you've ever needed on the inside. This is an inside job. Not having to choose between your personal healing and happiness and the temple path. It doesn't have to be a this or this. It could be a this and this. You're allowed to have it all. Let yourself believe it. Don't get bored in an energy being like, well, I don't know how I could possibly. Yeah, valid, you know, like those feelings will come up, but just process them and like release them. Don't hold on to them and like add additional emotion to them. Just be like, no, it's okay. Yeah, I don't know how, but psh, we're done. Okay. Pile 2, that is the messages I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're looking for a personal reading, check the description box. There's several ways to connect with me. If this is your last pile, thank you so much for joining me. If you have another pile to watch, I'll be chatting with you very soon. But until next time, bye. All right, pile number 3. Here we are with your cards. We are just gonna jump right in. We are gonna start flipping them. We have the 4 of air. We have the messenger of fire, and we have the magician. Okay, so pile 3, if you were considering pile number 2, I suggest you watch it. This is your confirmation that there was a message for you. If you didn't, just disregard. But if you're like, oh, maybe 2, and you were just kind of hemming and hawing, this is confirmation the magician showed up there too. Okay, so this is really interesting because there's a lot of, this is happening on the inside. You're making some really big shifts. There's movement, there's fast movement. You're moving from feeling anxious, feeling burdened, feeling like you just didn't have enough. Like you weren't respected. There was just this whole heaviness that you're moving through because you have the tools within to shift it. You've had them for a long time, but you're finally ready. So that's the energy I'm getting here. Like you're able to disconnect from that. We're gonna dive deeper. We're gonna pull these cards too. Disruption. This is like the Tower card in this deck. Mental conflict is like the 2 of Swords. Intuition is the Magician. Okay, so you have everything you need within you to really move out of this chaos, this energy of constantly feeling sad, constantly feeling like people aren't respecting you, like you're not getting what you want, that you're not in the relationships, and like this, for lack of a better way to sum up the feelings they're showing me, I'm gonna call it like an entitled energy, like, why isn't this happening for me? And I know that's not the way you're approaching it. That's just a way for me to summarize. And I think if you take a step back, you'll be like, oh yeah, that is pretty entitled, expecting other people to X, Y, Z. And you don't have to be in that. You have to take action though. There's things you have to be doing for your mental health. Okay? You can't be sitting in a basement all day, checking stuff on screens, sleeping, and not getting out and moving, and not exercising. And it doesn't have to be like intense exercise. It could literally just be going for a walk, you know, like a flat, easy walk. And then complain that you don't feel good, that there's chaos happening because, well, you didn't eat well because you just weren't feeling it, because you weren't exercising, you weren't taking care of, you weren't drinking the water, you weren't all of the things. It doesn't have to be quite like that, but it is time for you to do what you know is right for you, and stop expecting other people to do what you want them to. It's not going to happen like that. Let's see what else. Carrying connections. There's 4 cards here. That's really interesting. So we're gonna pop that one right there. So I really feel like you are expecting people to do what you want, and it's just not gonna happen. Walking away. Yeah, you can't continue to be this way, to feel these emotions and to project all of this nasty, sad, angry energy anymore. You're pushing your own boundaries. Community. Rising up, taking those actions. Adjacent possibilities, understanding that there is a whole toolbox of things that have been presented to you that you haven't taken action on because you've been all up in your feelings. But whoever it is that you're considering, I'm going to call it working with, could just be in a relationship with, doesn't want you to feel all these things. They don't want to be around someone that's constantly in a state of disruption. That's, why me? This isn't, I wish they would have bad on them. There's just this entitled energy, and it just isn't like that. You just have to allow people to be. But there is definitely an opportunity. Someone that is a master at what they do wants to connect with you. There's possibilities here for you to move through, but it does take shifting out of this, changing, using the tools you have to shift out of that. Walk away from the things that make you feel upset, that give you anxiety, that feel depressing in some way, shape, or form. It just doesn't have to be that way anymore. That's it. I feel like you've been stuck in that for a long time, and it's coming to a close. You're gonna finally be connected with the people that make you feel good. But that means don't judge a book by its cover. You know, if this is in regards to a relationship, say, it just seems easy to give that example. And you're like, hey, this relationship, I'm not getting what I need. I'm constantly showing up. I do not feel like they're communicating the way I want them to. Great, walk away. But then when your person shows up and they don't have the same kind of hair, the same kind of whatever that you envisioned, so what? Focus on what's on the inside that person, not necessarily things from the past. Just allow the universe to provide for you. And maybe it's a stepping stone. Maybe it's not a forever relationship. Maybe it's just a stable long-term relationship that's good but not great. Maybe it just fizzles out in time, but allows you to build, get out of that mental conflict, that chaos, just to feel what you want to feel so that you're ready to accept what your bigger dreams are. But sometimes we can't go from feeling like pissed off that someone's not doing what we want and feeling in a perfect relationship if we're stuck in that, because we can't operate in the energy that we want to be in, right? And like, we're human, and sometimes that happens, but there's definitely a need to set some things down. Old ways of thinking, old emotions, things that are making you feel anything that's not joy. Focus on joy, use your tools, connect, walk through this door. Walk through this door. You're so ready to have it all, but you can't when you feel this way. Even if you had it all, you wouldn't feel it because you're feeling this way. So this has to be set down. Okay? Pile number 3, that is what I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're looking for a personal reading, check the description box. There's lots of ways to connect with me. If this was your last pile, thank you so much for joining me. If this is one of your piles and you're watching another one, I'll talk with you real soon. Okay, bye.